Yeah, 99%.
99%. Yes, the video for the single 99% that also appeared on the album Dub Conscious, which was released. The single was released in the earlier part of 2015, and the Dub Conscious album was released on the 28th of August, to be precise. And we're now putting together, this interesting music video. 99% as a song, of course, it's about us, the people, which most commonly considered the common people, which are the 99% versus the 1%. Yeah, so look out for that video coming very, very soon. Okay. The concept of the video, for 99%, it kind of represents pretty much what the song is saying, but we gave it a little bit of twist, suspense. We wanted when the video is finished that people could have their discussion about what they just saw, and people could formulate their own story from the base that was created in the video. It is meant to be fun, but at the same time it is interestingly mind playful. It's one of those visual content that is gonna make you think about the current state of this society, as the song suggests. But it will be fun, it will be interesting, and we're looking forward to our people's response. Current state of our society is in a turmoil, and we see there's so much division through classism. Classism especially, because 99% speaks to that. The 1%, which are the 1% that pretty much controls, pretty much all of what goes on in our society, what we eat, how we pretty much breathe. And the 99%, of course, which again are considered the common people, to a certain extent, we'd say from middle class going down, those are the people that are considered to be trampled by the system as it is. We're not talking about people now per se, because we're all victims, of what has been created and got out of control over time. And so we all are victims. So the current state of our society is in a turmoil as a result of that. I think as a people, in general, we get along. There are always going to be differences, and of course based on cultural background and your nationality, your tradition, one person is going to differ to another. And so yes, race is an issue, but it's not the biggest issue. Classism, you and me, we're here now because of reggae music. And we're here because of reggae music, because of the message that is in reggae music. What that means is that we're feeling much of the same things. It means we're speaking much of the same language. It means that the plight that the common people are feeling, is being felt by us that are here. We're from different racial backgrounds, yet we're able to communicate, we're able to, the references are there. We feel, pretty much. See. The problems are many, and over time they have increased, they have developed. It has gotten deeper. At the same time, we're seeing an increase in tolerance. Many might not want to acknowledge, because of course, it's been so deep, it's been for such a long time that so much that has been done, it's going to be difficult to undo. But there's progress. While there's progress, remember now, we're living in duality, and so the reason for good and the reason for bad is because we all have to coexist. All these differences have to coexist, and so when the tension rises, of course, there are going to be solutions. It's going to be a situation where people's minds are going to be open to what's happening around them. And there are solutions. Solutions are being presented, and of course, the discussion continues. The discussion continues as to, we need to see this thing. We need to get there faster. You know what I mean? But life is a journey. And so while a lot of groups might focus on the problems, my personal belief is to focus on the positive, because things trickle or they multiply, and where you set your intention is where you're gonna get results. And so for those who want to see the problems, we'll see the problems. For those who want to see the solutions, we'll see the solutions and present even more situations that will create solutions. And so that's what we're doing, with 99%, for example. It's presenting, trying to present a solution, through our own eyes. It's not focusing on the negatives. You present the solutions, it opens people's minds to the problems that exist, but it's not to point them to the problem. It's pointing them to the solutions, or solutions that are there, for us to, take advantage of. And, balance is a skill.
Yeah. And the song, there's a solution in the song. The people, we are the 99%, which is the majority. So we have the power. We are the ones, we are the problems and the solution. But we have to just look and listen, and we will know. If you want a better place, you have to be a better person. If you want to see a better world, you have to live a better life. So we are the solution, but we are also helping the cause of the problem, because we are supporting it too. You understand? I wouldn't use that word because politics is a whole different thing, what is right, what is right, and what is wrong, what we feel, we can feel it in our heart. If somebody get murdered right there, we don't feel good about it. If we see somebody helping a poor person, we feel good about that. So we know what is, we are born, it's in our DNA, what is right and what is wrong. It's not politics. We just have to, if we see somebody getting hurt, we stand up and say, no, you can't do that. If somebody is suffering, we help them. You know what I mean? So
I think the reason why Jallanzo presents his answer in that way is because the moment the greater populace hears the word
Political.
political or politics, it tends to start a fire in not the most positive way. And so hence, this is life, this is a journey, and life is a journey that is about growth. Hence, we know all the things we have to face. And all the things that we have to face includes all these differences, which are and can be considered political. However, again, we speak to solutions rather than problems. And so if the word politics strikes a chord that is too bluesy for the feel of the majority, we tend to just focus on the positive, present the positive. So politics, okay, let's not say politics. Let's not talk politics. Let's talk livity. Black History Month is February.
Reggae month.
Reggae Month
Also Bob Marley month.
is February. The birth of Bob Marley is February. The birth of Dennis Brown is February. Need I say more?
I think they chose a wrong time. A wrong time. That's what I think.
I think the black consciousness, or again, saying black consciousness, I don't want anybody hearing this to think that we're pro-black in the sense of, being racial. But when we talk about being pro-black, we're talking about black consciousness, understanding oneself, right? I can say that pro-black for me means pro-life, right? For more reasons than one. Our medias, the media giants that we get all our information, or most of our information from, has pretty much suppressed a lot of what we as a people could be proud of. Let me not say that it is deliberate or not, but over time we've seen that as it's been there. We've lived with this. I can say that you're also pro-black because you're supporting life. You're supporting the development and the community. You're supporting togetherness, right? And reggae music, that is what it represents. It represents togetherness. It represents black consciousness because of all those negatives that have been, been there, and present, in our development as a people. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Dub music is the inside of the music, going inside of it. You in the dub music you can hear more reverb, more delay, and you hear instrument you never hear during the whole song because the voice is out and the piano and such leave the drum and bass and whatever. So it take you on a little inside view of the rhythm. Oh, this is how the drum is, this is how the bass really is. And this is, with a little twist with the echo and reverb, it kind of take you out of space in a way, So dub music is really, it will take you in the inside, looking inside the music. Yeah.
That's the beauty of individuals that come together, because music takes on the personality of the individual. Stone is playing his part, and his personality comes out, through through the instrumentation, through the instrument that he plays. You know, the attitude of the bass represents Stone's attitude. You know, the attitude of the drums, you know, represents me. And that's the reason why live music is so different as opposed to music that is created too digitally. Sometimes tend to come across a little bit more monotonal because you don't feel those differences that makes a whole, you know, like when you have live music. Earthcry is performing now, and just before us Dubtonic Kru would perform, and I'm sure you're gonna feel the differences. You're gonna see the differences. You know, molding our sounds together that creates this one sound. You know, it's gonna move you a little different. It's gonna feel a little different. A lot of the subjects are gonna be similar. You know, a lot of the words, a lot of the messages are gonna be similar, but the colors are gonna be a little bit different. You know, so it's like an art where each individual, you know, makes their own stroke, their own color, and their own shade of a particular color. You know, within the music that makes it original to each group, you know, and that's the reason why we left politics, but I'll bring it right back here. That is what makes this world so beautiful, because the diversity. I cannot do without you, you cannot do without me. Stone. When I hear you.
No, I listen, you know. Yeah, we play, music, every music have a similarity still, you know, inspiration. If we listen to all kind of music, so maybe if you hear a different sound, maybe we listen to some Oswald. As a youth growing up, we listen a lot of Oswald, we listen a lot of LKJ, you know, so maybe we just flow along with it, you know what I mean? Yeah, so that's where it's coming from, you know.
The influences are many, and I think because we've also been blessed to be well-traveled musicians, you know, music from various cultures have influenced us, you know. So you'll hear some of our music that is influenced by Latin, you know, maybe some samba, some salsa. You know, you'll hear a little bit of funk here and there. You know, so various genres are, you know, embedded in our music that creates a melting pot for Dubtonic Kru sound. Definitely British reggae and old school dub out of Britain. We traveled to Europe, and a lot of the dub vibration that was being played in Europe for several years. We started traveling Europe in the mid-90s, you know, and so we were getting a lot of that, you know, as a result of, you know, performing with a lot of these artists that we had performed with before we came into our own and before we were Dubtonic Kru, you know, a lot of these pioneers, you know, within the industry that we toured with. So after a concert was done and the DJ would be playing, you know what I mean, we would hear a lot of those, you know, British dub, you know, and I'm sure they influenced us a lot.
Yep.
You know, Sly and Robbie, of course.
Yep.
You know, and the list goes on, you know. I'll tell you that in 2013, when we were finished with Evolution album, Dubtonic was the previous album to Evolution, and we felt like Dubtonic Kru made a statement for Dubtonic made a statement for Dubtonic Kru, and we thought we needed to push it a little bit more. And being in Jamaica, we were doing events. We were doing plug and play. We were doing Bands Incorporated, as you probably know. But I personally wanted to see how much more I could do, you know, with Evolution album. And I needed to be on the ground. We were establishing ourselves in the US, for about 2 years prior to 2013. And I think we were doing fairly well, and hence I thought that was going to be the best move for really being on the ground and trying to promote this album. VPAL distributed this album, and so as a result of being in the marketplace, I was able to make, the necessary connections. I was able to, do a little bit more marketing, hands-on, than I was able, to do here. Big up to Jamaica, our people, big up to the media platforms here that, have supported us over the years. I felt we needed a little bit more, and we needed to do a little bit more, on the ground in those locations. We spent a lot of time not only trying to develop ourselves, but we saw a need during the years of 2009 to 2012, 2013 to help create a platform, not just for ourselves but for our colleagues, and a lot of our time and effort went into doing that, through Bands Incorporated and through Plug and Play. At that time it was less about us and more about, the community, music lovers, roots music, consciousness, and we're happy. We're really happy right now to see where things have evolved, and all the players that were involved in creating events and partnering together to make things happen. We did our part, and we're happy. We were able to play a part. The journey continues. We started something together, and we're looking at the logistics, to make it come to, fruition. There's nothing final yet, and so we really won't say much yet until we know, what we're really gonna do and how we're gonna do it. But we laid some tracks together, previously. But Dubtonic Kru is always making music. We have a lot of music that is there that is yet to be released, and at some point they will be released. So we'll see what happens. At the moment, after 99%, the video for 99% is released, there is a colleague of ours that lives in the city that I live in the United States currently, and as I am always advocating for mandatory music education in schools, that's always been like, one of the things I'm advocating for. Because growing up, I was lucky enough, for part of my high school years to have music taught in the classroom. It was cut off after a period of time. But I know what music and the arts in general, does for the mind, and also helps even for those who are not necessarily going to be pursuing music as a career. The arts help your mind in such a way that it allows for facilitation of so many other things, and as a result, I always think that music education, is always very vital, for the mind. And so I met this brethren, in the city I currently live, which is also very passionate about the same thing. He's a music educator, and he also sings. So that project is coming very, very soon. I'll tell you that it's a collaborative effort. My production, Whitestone Productions, and his production team, and the title track, which is called One, is a serious tune, combination between Dubtonic Kru and Aaron Nigel Smith. So look out for that. That is going to be a very, very nice project.
And I also doing some work with Michael Rose of our album coming out, the guy from California. So play some tracks on it too, and you know, yeah. A lot of people, Winter James doing some stuff. We collaborate play some stuff with him also, and you know. Yeah, man.
Well, in that case, then I'm
Jallanzo,
also.
and Jallanzo.
A lot of things in store.
Yeah.
Yeah, but individually, everybody
Yeah,
do
man.
everybody do individual stuff.
yeah,
But
man.
as a group together, we come together and still do.
Yeah, you know, I'm sure you might heard of Max Romeo's two kids, Rominal and Zana Romeo. I'm the producer for them. So I help them with their music and produce them track and mix it. Also dub mix and everything. So that's what we're working on right now.
What's the name of the track?
The name of the tracks, that's Righteous. We're working on their album. I'm working on their album now, but the one that's released, the Righteous Part for Zana Romeo, Righteous Part, Rate Rasta. For Rominal, we just released Grow My Dread. Yeah, and we're working on something with Max Romeo as well, something fresh and new. Surprise.